everything that we're talking about and learning about for Clear Lake, if we got invasive quagga mussels or invasive zebra mussels in this lake, everything gets flipped on its head and we have to start from scratch and learn everything all over again, because quagga mussels have such a devastating impact on lakes. From the nutrients, from the bottom up, literally from the soil all the way to the top, the whole ecosystem will be totally changed. So it's really, really important personally, but also professionally. And I want to stress you guys, it's probably one of the most important programs we have on this lake. And so I'm really excited to introduce our technician. Like, no pressure, right, Corey? I was just about to say, thanks for really hyping it up. It's like, Corey, welcome.
That goes forward and that's back. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Angela, for the introduction. Again, my name is Corey Hustead. I have been working with the Water Resource Department for the past 4 years and with the Mussel Program Prevention Program for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about the prevention program, what that would look like if we were to get an infestation, what we are doing currently today, and what we'd like to see in the future for our program as it evolves. But before we do that, I'd like to show you guys just a little history of how these mussels came about into the United States and how they made their way out west into California. So right here, we have some examples of what quagga and zebra mussels look like. Right here is the zebra mussel on the left. You can tell the difference between these two by their shape and kind of what their designs are. The zebra mussels have these zigzag type of shapes. They're more triangular and they lay flat. Compared to the quagga mussel, where they're more rounded shape. They don't lay flat, and they have these circular rings. They're also lighter in color. And here's just an example of just how devastating they can be to shorelines, to property and infrastructure, and just how fast that they can populate. And here are some quick facts on just what they are. Female quagga mussels can lay up to 1 million eggs per spawning season, and they can live up to 3.5 years. They are very adaptable to the climates that they're in. And for Clear Lake, we are a calcium-rich lake, so they would have a feeding frenzy on our lake itself. Adult mussels can last outside of water for about 5 to 30 days, depending on the weather. If it's hotter weather, they will die off a lot quicker. But they can last up to 30 days. And that's really crucial when we're doing our screening process for when we do our sticker sales. The veligers, on the other hand, that's the microscopic life cycle of these. They do need water to survive as well. And the way that they move to and from water bodies is by boater traffic. So boaters that are unaware that they're maybe in an infested body of water, or maybe they knew that they were in an infested body of water, didn't properly clean, drain, and dry their vessel. So they would leave, standing water in their live wells or in their bilge and their ballast tanks if they're a wakeboarding boat. And then they would go and travel across state lines or wherever, and they would release that water into bodies of water, and that water body would be infested. And the way that the adult mussels attach themselves is by byssal threads. And you can kind of see just an example of just kind of how creepy these things are. They're pretty much just like Velcro. They're very difficult to get off, very manual, very labor intensive to get these off boats. We have an example that we do for our outreach events where we dipped a boat into Lake Mead for 6 months, and it's really awesome. Whenever if anybody ever sees us at one of our outreach events, I'd highly suggest checking out that boat. It's really amazing what they can do. And here's an example of just like the life cycle of the quagga and zebra mussels, and from their egg cycle to veliger to juvenile all the way to male. And so it is believed that quagga mussels were introduced into the United States by a cargo ship that came over from the Black Sea and Caspian Sea over near Ukraine. And they made their ways through the channels into Lake Erie and discharged their ballast water into that body of water. And a year later, in 1989, they were discovered in Lake Erie. And not only in 10 years later, this is exactly what the map looks like of just how fast they spread throughout this, Midwest, eastern regions of bodies of water. And you can kind of see they even started to make their way into the Mississippi River, most likely from boater traffic. And by 2007, they were actually discovered in Lake Mead. And they continued to just go out west even further and further. And even in that same year, after January, they were discovered in Lake Mojave and Lake Havasu in California. And once that was, I'll go right back. So yeah, this is the map of just how fast they've spread in just a 20-year span. And this is what the map looks like today. You can tell just how bad that these things really get and how quickly they go if boaters are not educated on clean, drain, and dry. You can tell right here in California, in the southern part, connecting to the Colorado River system, we have a very bad infestation, and I'll get to that in the next few slides. So what we did for County of Lake in 2008, the Department of Public Works enacted the Lake County Water Vessel Inspection Ordinance 2936 for the Lake County Invasive Mussel Prevention Program. And what that entails is every boat that comes into the county needs to be screened properly before they are to enter the bodies of water in Lake County, and most importantly, Clear Lake. And as of today, we have 26 sticker vendors and 16 ramp monitors that man all of our public ramps. These are the first, I'm going to drink some water. These are our first and last line of defense for keeping Lake County clear of mussels. And just like I said earlier in the last slides, this is what California looks like today. I'm not going to read every single one of these names. I can barely remember them. I have to look them up myself sometimes, but there's a lot of main lakes that we do see our fishermen and other visitors that are coming from. So we have a hot list of, am I doing that? Sorry, guys. We have a hot list of examples that we give to all of our vendors around the lake that sell our stickers so that they can be more prepared for when boaters do come out to get stickers from us. And right now I'm going to show you a PSA video that we worked on, me, Angela, and Sam Houston last year. And so go ahead and take it away, Sam.
Welcome to Lake County, home of California's largest natural freshwater lake, Clear Lake.
Originally called Hobbiton, meaning big water in native Pomo, Clear Lake is one of the oldest lakes in North America.
Clear Lake has over 120 miles of shoreline with shallow and rich waters that makes it a world-class fishing destination.
The productive waters of Clear Lake have produced record-catching fish, which contributes to the average 15,000 boaters that visit Clear Lake every year.
Clear Lake is currently free of invasive quagga and zebra mussels.
Monthly monitoring by Lake County's Water Resources staff help to maintain Clear Lake's mussel-free status.
If invasive quagga or zebra mussels are introduced into Clear Lake, their devastating impacts will last forever.
Mussels consume massive amounts of green algae when they filter feed lake water,
which will decimate the sport fishing population, as green algae is the base of the food web in Clear Lake. Mussels can attach to and clog drinking water pipes,
causing millions of dollars to the public and private sector to pay for needed maintenance and removal.
For the drinking water systems on the lake, this is especially concerning as Clear Lake provides drinking water to about 66% of the county's population.
Added cost to remove mussels would make drinking water treatment more difficult and expensive.
There are no examples of successful eradication of invasive mussels from lakes, meaning if quagga or zebra mussels are introduced into Clear Lake,
they will be here forever, and the Clear Lake as we know it today will never be the same again.
There are 3 simple things we can do to prevent the introduction of invasive mussels.
Before leaving any water body, remember to clean your boat inside and out, and all compartments. Remove any plants, dirt, or sand.
Drain your engine. Pull your drain plug and empty any water from ballast tanks or live wells.
Dry your boat, including inside compartments, and make sure all equipment, including water toys and fishing gear, are completely dry before visiting another water body. Every boat launching in Lake County needs to be screened and stickered.
Find participating screeners and sticker sellers online at www.nomussels.com.
When visiting a sticker seller, the boater will fill out a single-page screener form. The screener will verify that the boat is safe to launch in Lake County
and does not have mussels or has not recently been in a mussel-infested lake.
If a boat is high risk or likely to have mussels, an inspection is needed, and the vendor will call a certified watercraft inspector from the county,
and they will perform an inspection on the boat for free.
Once a boat passes screening and/or inspection, boaters will purchase a sticker for $20.
The County of Lake Quagga Mussel stickers are located next to the yearly California state sticker, which will be adhered to both sides of the bow, next to the registration numbers and the state's mussel fee sticker, as well as at the back of the trailer. Please report any violators without current Quagga Mussel stickers.
Even screened boats will sometimes be stopped at the ramps by ramp monitors for quality assurance.
Sometimes, mussel sniffing dogs will also be present at the ramps to conduct impromptu inspections.
This step won't take long, but it's important so that we can continue to protect Clear Lake from invasive mussels.
If you have any other questions, or you think you see a quagga or zebra mussel in Clear Lake or in another water body in Lake County,
you can call us at Water Resources at 707-263-2344.
You can send us an email at water.resources@lakecountyca.gov.
Or you can send us a message on Facebook. Find us at Lake County Water.
Thanks for helping us keep Clear Lake clear of invasive mussels.
And with your help, we can protect and preserve Clear Lake for future generations of people, plants, and animals.
Thanks to our funding partners at the California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways for supporting this program and PSA.
So, just like the video said, invasive mussels would be absolutely tragic to Lake County. And, it'd be completely detrimental to Lake County. And even on a national scale, we can just see just how expensive these invaders can be to a community. Just nationally, these numbers are from 2016, by the way. So these numbers are not as completely accurate, and I guarantee they're almost doubled now. But nationally, 120 to 138 billion in annual cost. In the Great Lake Basins, 30 million on annual cost for mussel monitoring and control. And in California alone, $30 billion for their drinking water systems. And how that's going to translate to Lake County, where is in this next slide. Right now, fishermen, when they do come in for their tournaments, it is an estimate that they bring in $1.3 million. This number is very conservative. This number was brought into an algorithm that is for one fisherman coming into the lake fishing for one day. And these tournaments go on for 5 days if you consider pre-fishing, which is 2 days before these fishermen come in. So what that means for the economic impact for Lake County, water purveyors that bring in drinking water to the county, like the video said, 66% of Lake County residents use the lake for their drinking water at home. They would at least need to spend $100,000 just to maintain their facilities. Property owners would lose equity in their homes. I don't think anybody would really want to be living next to a dead lake with a shoreline filled with dead mussels sneaking up the place and damaging their property. Local restaurants, bait and tackle shops, hotels, resorts, gas stations, small business owners for boat repairs. The list goes on of the impact that invasive mussels can bring to a community. And to top it all off, we would lose our state and federal funding for our mussel prevention program, as we would no longer be a preventative lake. We would be a containment lake. and essentially cueing the domino effect. If we do not continue to have programs like this, this is going to be us if we were to get invaded, just waiting for that last domino to fall. And I think most importantly, the environmental impacts that would come to Lake County if we were to get invaded. The green algae food web would be completely decimated, causing smaller fish to not have any food to eat. If there's no food to eat for the smaller fish, they start to die off. If there's no smaller fish for the bigger fish to eat, they start to die off. Fishermen don't come to Lake County to go fishing anymore. If there's no fish in the lake for the migratory and the native birds species, we're going to see a huge decline in that. And I don't even want to think about what would happen to all the grebes. Shorelines, like I said earlier, would be littered with sharp and smelly decaying mussels. You wouldn't be able to walk on the shorelines. Your dogs wouldn't be able to enjoy it. Swimming on the shorelines or off the shorelines would not be possible. And lastly, property damage would happen because they would attach themselves to any object that is touching the water. And so how we're helping stopping the spread here in Lake County is we utilize this app called the WID database. And it's a very useful tool for all of our ramp monitors. And hopefully soon in the 2025 season, I'd like to get all of my vendors in on this application. And what it is essentially our screening sheet in digital form, where we can look up a boater's CF number or registration number for their vessel, and we can see what body of water that they were in last, because it's all in the merit base of what boaters tell us when and where they were in their last body of water. And so to combat that as much as we can, we do have mussel dogs on bigger fishing tournament days that set up. These dogs are amazing. They can sense an adult mussel all the way down to the larvae and eggs cycle of their life. We do outreach events as much as we can. We did, I believe, 4 this year. Very rewarding things. And to combat the fees for this is we do free inspections and decons. We want everybody coming to Lake County to feel like they can comfortably come here, knowing that they're not going to pay an arm and a leg to get inspected if they were in a body of water. We don't want to be a police state of telling people from Lake Mead that, hey, you were in Lake Mead, we don't want you here. That's not what our prerogative is. We want to welcome everybody and do the right avenues. And if decontaminations are needed, we will do that for free. Let's see. Yeah. And like I've said in previous slides, we have all of our ramp monitors and sticker vendors, spread out throughout Lake County, being able to screen boaters, asking the proper questions of when and where these boaters are coming from. We also have a vendor over in Blue Lakes, and they are in contact with all 4 resorts there as well. So if any boaters are coming into Blue Lakes, they know to go to our screener in Blue Lakes. And then we also have 2 vendors in Lake Pillsbury, and they've been with the program for over 10 years, longer than I've been there. They know how to handle any boaters, and any boaters that do go there, they come clean, drain, dry. And here's just an example of all the access points in Clear Lake. This is not including all the private resident locations. That number is in the 400 to 500s, I'd imagine, maybe even more. So it's pretty difficult to kind of get every place monitored. We do our best to do it at the public ramps. And here's a couple images right here of just what we've been doing this year. Outreach events and decontaminations, as well as our mussel dogs that are working with us side by side. And this is actually a really interesting image. Back in 2020, a boat came in from Ohio that had dead adult mussels on it. This boat made it all the way through California stations. The boater was told to get a decontamination. We were the closest one. This came from, I believe, Tahoe. I can't remember exactly, but our staff had a decontamination machine, and we were able to completely gut the engine, fill all the necessary areas with hot water to kill them for the correct amount of time, and we were able to send this boat off. I'm not going to be able to touch too much on this today. Maybe we can bring this up in the panel discussion, but if we were to get infested, this is a great resource on our website, www.nomussels.com. We work closely with Leah Elwell and Lisa DeBrucker from the Creative Resources Strategies, working on a rapid response if we were to get contaminated with quagga and zebra mussels. It's a very great tool. I would encourage you guys to check this out. Here's all the partners that we worked with for that collaboration. It was a great 2-day workshop, and it is available online. So what we would like to see in the future is to beef up the WID database for California specifically, just because we have 43 lakes that are infested in our state. The reason why we want to buff this up is because not all water agencies use the WID database. So it's a big guessing game on where these vessel owners that are coming from. So if we have boater movement transparency, we'll have a much better success at stopping a spread coming into Clear Lake. And then in my personal opinion, I would love to see 2 permanent decontamination stations in Lake County. We have 2 mobile stations and it works great, but it's a very time consuming process compared to a permanent decontamination station as this one. This is a dip tank, costs about $1 million. But what it does is the pool of water heats up to 120 degrees and the boater can then bring in the water into its boat for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then they're on their way and they are completely clean and clean of invasive mussels. And here is a slide of where you can find out more information. If you guys would like to take pictures of this, I can leave it up for about 15 seconds. 1, 2. And that is it. I appreciate your guys' time. If you have any questions, I believe we can bring it into the, we'll bring it into the, thank you.
Thank you, Corey.